بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا معينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. Unfortunately, we are not receiving questions, but anyhow, we'll continue with what we were talking before because we haven't finished it. Of course, there are always subjects to discuss, but the aim of this group was to answer, make a discussion really, more than one way. I wanted people come and participate. And in fact, I could use as well. I could learn as well. Anyhow, we were discussing the evolution, and we said that those aspects of it, which is against religion, really is not the what we call scientific. As long as it is scientific, whatever proof. There are reasons for it, reason to believe. It's certainly according to religion. We have no difficulty with that. Unfortunately, those parts which people think it is scientific, but it is not, it's in fact irrational, is that part is the problem. So as long as they think that, okay, this is a law, law abiding the whole universe on the nature. Okay, that's good. The question raises that who creates such unknowledged law, something that really helps survive and everything survive. I mean, those, if you just, I encourage you to do really, to even play with humanoid robotics. If you just make a robotic and just want to program it to walk, only to walk, it will fall so many times that you get tired really, because of only if you want to just teach it how to walk. Because when there is no law, there is no science, no knowledge, if you don't know really how to do things, the possibility of mistake is 10 times of success, like 100 times or more really. So altogether, this aspect of it is important. But then, yes, when we say that God has created this law, you can say, okay, because both of them is not rational, it's irrational, that if you say that no, this is nature, and you can call it nature, we can call it God. So it's a matter of naming, and tags are not important. The concept is important, that we have a body. You can call it law, you can call it whatever, is that understands, and he knows how to do it, and he's done it perfectly, he's done it very well. And in some senses we see how kind he is, and this sort of thing. And we call him God. Okay, you can call it whatever, because that part goes into the belief. And when it goes to the belief, inshallah, we will have a lot of sessions to discuss that what is science, and how we should know God, and what part is really logic and intellect, and which part is belief. It's like, as Christians say, it needs a leap of faith. You just jump. There is no connection there. But today I wanted to mention some facts which are in line with what we learn in evolution as a science. So to start with, I mentioned it, but I tried to somehow read it, translation of the Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. Some part of it, in fact, it's not all. It's a very long narration which Imam Sadiq alayhi salam told one of his disciples called Mufaddal. So we call him Tawheed Mufaddal. In it, Imam uses the wisdom, the laws, I mean, the how things are done in nature, just to prove that behind nature, the creator of the nature is really a wise, kind, omnipotent, that sort of person, which is, we call him God. So one way of understanding, or at least knowing God, or trying to know God, is to see how he has created us. So part of it is this part. And it's interesting that as I try to read it, and you can see, so the aspect of evolution, that from one creature, then we have another creature, and then we have another one, is not something against religion. Not only that, Imam is also using some sort of aspect of survival of the survival, really, the aspect of survival in animals. But who taught these animals, or this DNA, whatever, to form in a way that they can survive? We as a human, simple, I ask, as a human, we're supposed to be better than animals, aren't we? And see what we've done. You just have a look on any site which discusses about pollution and environment. We are polluting, we are disturbing the nature, and we are destroying it. And we are the wise creature. So how come that unwise don't know anything, they do it perfectly correct? And we have this chain of food, and we have all sorts of things happening in the world in a uniform way, and it's a progressive way. So it's not possible. It's not possible at all. I mean, you just need to a bit contemplate about it, a bit think about it, is enough. But always, human has created us, God has created us as free, with free will, and free will is also in our intellect, in our accepting the ideas, is not only in our action. That is also an action, to accept some theories or some ideas. Okay, anyhow, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, in three animals, he describes he describes a lot of things, especially about human. But in these three examples, one is elephant, one is giraffe, and one is monkey. As for the elephant trunk, Imam says, look how thoughtful ideas is used in its creation. The trunk works as hand to eat the food and drink the water. So it helps, the trunk helps the elephant to, like our hand, which collects the food and put it in our mouth. The trunk does that. It collects the food and put it in his mouth. And it curves inside, so it can reach the mouth. So it doesn't curve the other side, they can't use it. So these are creative, I mean, these are things which, as I said, if you just program a simple robot, you will understand how important all these aspects are. Otherwise, it did not have a neck and could not eat anything from the ground. The elephant doesn't have, the head is directly connected to the body. the rest of cattle, they have all neck, but elephant doesn't have. Then Imam asked, after again some text, I missed it, who replaced the trunk for the missing part, which is the neck? So the neck was helping other animal and cattle to reach the ground and reach the food, but elephant doesn't have that neck, but it has a trunk. Who did that? So evolution says, well, chance. At the end of the day, it's chance. Or DNA. Oh, okay, again, who created that DNA? Imam says, he himself said, except the one who cares about this creation. He in the case is here is not the knowledge. Imam doesn't point to the knowledge of God, but his kindness, his benevolent and beneficiary of that he wants to help everything, and including this elephant. So he thinks kindly about him and created a trunk for him. And Imam asked after that, interesting, that means people of that time also, they had some sort of ideas like evolution. And Imam asked, how can this be by chance, as Depost says? Depost I translated for Zalim. Zalim is the person who, oppressor. By literally, Depost also means like that. But in Islam, we have a concept of oppressing ourselves. I mean, doing something against ourselves. I don't know what a better word to use. We should have a word, really. Unfortunately, although we think that we are clever and we are wise and we have intellect and we have all this, but our action proves that we have been against nature and in our environment, and because we need a lot of things, fast food and energy, fast energy, whatever. So we don't care really at the end of the day. Sometimes we do things against ourselves. So when we do something against ourselves, so we are oppressor. We are not good guys. The word for that, it's either we call it, I don't know, depost, because depots, I don't use that word much, but oppressor, I know it. So Imam says, the people who think that this is by itself, by chance, it doesn't use the word chance, but we can translate it as a chance really, by just happening. Certainly it's not like that. Then Imam continues. If a person asks why elephants do not have a neck, okay, now, okay, they don't have a neck, we understood, but why? Like any other cattle. It is said that the head of the elephant and his ears are huge. So it's heavy, and they are heavy. If this weight was on even a large neck, it would have hurt it, break it or hurt it or whatever, something like that. So God attached the head to the body to protect him from that deficiency. So you see, it's a matter of correcting a deficiency. This correction, auto-correction, is what is the sole idea behind evolution. Evolution always improves towards survival. And God accepts that for survival, it's something happens for the sake of survival. But the question is that why survival? So what? Survival, so what? Here, Imam uses the kindness, interesting. Again, not something that we need a word to be there because of being there. No. Because God wants to give life, benefit to others, other creatures. In this case, elephant. So the reason behind the evolution, yes, we accept it could be survival, but why survival? We see that there is a higher level of understanding, really, or I just forgot. I just forgot the word. So he attached the head to so that body protect himself, protect him from that deficiency. Instead, he made him a trunk so that it can feed. So elephants, though they do not have a neck, but have something instead to reach their food. As to giraffe, it has a part of horse and a part of camel and hoofs of the cow, but it is something in between, a mixture of them. And continues a bit more. I couldn't understand it. I haven't written it as well because I couldn't understand it. But it seems that at that time, the idea was that giraffe is made some sort of mating between these animals, between horse and camel and cow. So because it's something special, a bit of this, a bit of that. So they thought that this is an animal which made by husbandry between these different animals. Then Imam mentions something in giraffe to prove that it is not the case. This is a separate animal by itself. Is a standalone, if you call it, animal. But I couldn't understand that part. Imam said this is evidence that the giraffe is not a combination of various varieties of animals, as alleged by ignorant, but it's a wonderful creation of God. So that it will be sign, so the giraffe, it would be a sign for the greatness of Allah. So something special, something different from others, just to show that God creates all sorts of things. The creator of all kinds of animals. We know that there is one creator who has created all sorts of animals, all sorts of them. He can combine any parts as he wishes and differentiates parts as he wants. And he increases in the creation of what he wants and decreases what he wants, as a sign of his ability to do things. And what he creates is flawless. The important thing is that at the end of the day, this is a chance, can't survive really. So these things which remain and survive and continue, it's because there is a flawless system really. As for the length of the neck, in this case is the other way. I mean, elephant didn't have neck, giraffe have a long neck. Okay, it's the opposite. And the benefit in that, its living area, Imam explains that its living area and the pasture are in high trees, going high in the air. So the food area for where giraffe lives, there are food on the trees, up high in the air. As a result, giraffes need a long neck in order to reach their food and those trees. Again, survival. So survival by itself is not wrong, but last week I mentioned is not the only reason. In this case, we heard that the survival, we have to ask why survival. But beauty, as I said, it's spirituality. I was looking for this word. There are some spirituality reasons, I mean, in that field, not materialistic field. We have a lot of reasons covering that aspect of human, because we are much bigger than just material. Then we move to monkeys. Look at monkeys and how they look alike humans. They have humans' head, face, shoulders, digestive system, and to some extent, mind. So much so that they mimic our actions. Monkeys are so close to us so that humans contemplate and realize that they are of animal origin. So when we see a monkey, well, evolution is certainly, Darwin is certainly, his idea was that we are made of monkey. Imam also is saying the same thing. It's not far, only much earlier, much earlier. So he says, when we see the monkey, we can see, oh, they are very close to us, they are doing the same thing. Okay, we are somehow, well, close to each other. But there's a small but. And if it was not for the superiority endowed by God to the man in mind, intellect, and speech, which is language, he would have been the same animal. So humans, Imam says, are the same as monkeys. If, small if or big if, it's up to you, that if we didn't have that intellect and the ability to speak, which is logic. Imam continues, though there are extra things in monkeys that distinguishes them from humans, such as mouth, it's a long mouth, coming out mouth, it's a special word we have. In English, I couldn't see the word for that. Tail, and the hair which covers all the body. So, by the way, one of the names for human in Quran is Bashar. Bashar, it's because our body is not covered with hair as much as other animals. We can see it white. We can see the whiteness of the skin. Bashar means the skin. So Bashar, humans, in fact, in that word, using by that word, we call humans equal animals who have less hair in their body, covering their body. So interesting. So Bashar is not high level. I mean, if in Quran we see Quran, if uses Bashar for humans, it means animal aspect of human. In fact, we have 4 levels in Quran who has referred to humans. Number 1 is Dabba. Dabba means anything which moves. I mean, so it's even trees to some extent they move, but we don't use Dabba for move. But even very small animals, the minimum minimum thing for an animal is just to move. So Dabba is the lowest level of being in animal side, if you call it. Then we have Bashar. Then we have Insan, which comes from social living. Ins, Anasa, loves to live together. So it comes from our social life. Insan, when we use, which today we only use Insan for humans most of the time, in Quran is not a good name for humans. In fact, it's not as perfect as God wants. Because, not because, whenever I saw in Quran, Insan, the attributes were not so good. I mean, connected to either speedy, hasty, likes money, likes, I think it's materialistic, very much materialistic, Insan. But the best one, which is that aspect, is good for humans and makes us really human being, and to some extent we can be vicegerents of Khalifatullah, vicegerent of God, is Bani Adam, sons of Adam, the Prophet Adam. Since then, our creation, since Adam ala nabina wa alihi alayhi salam, we have been different. So as in this tradition, which says we are like monkeys, but different, with a wisdom and with an extra speech ability, which is logic, really. So the sons of Adam are also totally different. I mean, they have a very high spirituality level, and that's what's good in them. So Imam here says that the difference between monkeys and human, there are some extra things in monkey which we don't have, like this elevated mouth and hair, all their body and tail. But even this does not prevent monkeys to claim to be human. It's interesting that it's the other way around. Monkeys also can say we are humans, if, again, we have this big if they had a person's mind and intellect and speech. So what really separates monkeys from man, in fact, is the lack of mind, intellect, and speech. So Imam says three things: dhihn, aql, and lisan. So much so we saw that interesting. It's very interesting to me. And when first time I saw this, I couldn't believe that Imam Sadiq alayhi salam have said something like that. It's very close to evolution as a science. So it's okay, no problem. More than that, we have in one verse, which is a story at the end of the story, really, although the story doesn't, or Quran doesn't go in detail, just mentions that for Bani Israel, God gave them a sign for some reason. So they were by the sea, and he told them not to fish on Saturdays. Take off the Saturday from fishing. But it seems the fish understood this. So they were coming by the seaside on Saturday, and they were going away on other days. They felt it somehow. Well, that's a problem for human. You see, fish are here, but you can't take it. Easily you can take it, but you can't. Of course, there are always smart, wise among us. So they thought, okay, we do something. We don't take them on Saturday, but we take them anyhow. It says, let's find a way. So they did something. I don't know exactly what they did, but suppose they made a small enclave by the seaside. So the fish were coming into that pond, and they closed it at the end of the day. So the fish could not go back to the sea, and then they took it on Sunday, Monday, whatever. But it was obviously against what God has wanted them. This was something. So it's possible, I'm not sure, that the Prophet has warned them, has asked them not to do it. But at the end, this is important, that God changed them, the people who were doing this, from human form to monkeys. Interesting. So we have the jump from humans to monkeys, in Quran. We have this possibility. The verse is 65, verse 65, Surah Baqarah 265. وَلَقَدْ عَلِمْتُمُ الَّذِينَ اعْتَدَوْا مِنْكُمْ فِي السَّبْتِ فَقُلْنَا لَهُمْ كُونُوا قِرَدَةً خَاسِئِينَ. And those who overruled the what we told them not to do on Saturday, and we told them to become monkeys. In other words, in other verses, we see also the levels or the stages of the development. Maybe it's not in the form which we see it now, or in the form that we can say it's correct, or I mean, it's exactly in line. I mean, with the evolution, but it's as I read it, you can see it how close it is and what it is. The first verse is وَاللَّهُ خَلَقَ كُلَّ دَابَّةٍ مِّن مَّاءٍ. God created everything that moves, or any animal really, but in word is moves, so it could be fish as well, or any other type of between, not insect, like a crocodile and this, which yes, reptile. Anyone, fish, reptile, animal, dab, anything that moves. God created them from water. You know, now the best theory now is that the source of life or animals is from water. This is very interesting. I mean, we see that it's in line with Quran, so we accept it. It's the other way around. I don't say that Quran said this 1400 years ago. No, I say if there is a theory that says that life has been started in the water, and I see this verse, I say, okay, that theory seems to be correct. So I agree with that. It's the other way around. فَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَمْشِي عَلَى بَطْنِهِ. So some of them are like reptiles. They walk on their tummy. So they pull themselves, really. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَمْشِي عَلَى رِجْلَيْنِ. Some of them move on 2 feet. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَمْشِي عَلَى أَرْبَعٍ. And some of them move on 4 feet. يخلق الله ما يشاء إن الله على كل شيء قدير. God creates whatever He wants, and He is able to do that. This is 45 Surah Nur. The next one is 38 Surah An'am. وما من دابة في الأرض ولا طائر يطير بجناحيه إلا أمثالكم. There is no movement on animal really on earth, and no bird that flies with its wings, except they are groups like you. So, in a sense, people, humans, could be again another type of animal. We can call that as well. We can use it in that sense. وما من دابة في الأرض إلا على الله رزقها ويعلم مستقرها ومستودعها كل في كتاب مبين. There is no movement, dab, again we said anything that moves on earth, but God gives its food, provides its food, and He knows what's going to happen to them and where they are going at the end. كل في كتاب مبين. So everything which is being created, there is a file for it already. I mean, every person, every animal. We have set rizq. Our rizq is set. One of the ayahs which says that, or I think it indicates that we really do not provide our own rizq, food. In this case, rizq, yes, here it says rizq, uses the word rizq. Rizq is whatever we get with food, the place, comfort, children, marriage, or whatever, with benefits that we get, if you call it. These are written. They are written. So we can't really change it, in a sense. We better cope with that. One of the ayahs is this one, that not only us, animals as well, birds as well, God not only has created us, He has put us, our way of living or survival, but also provides the food and the that loop as well. The next one, وَاللَّهُ خَلَقَكُم مِّن تُرَابٍ ثُمَّ مِّن نُطْفَةٍ ثُمَّ جَعَلَكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا. This is about humans only. God has created you from dirt, then from nutfa, spermatozoid, you can call it, and ثُمَّ جَعَلَكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا. And then He created you as man and wife. Here, one teacher, because it seems in Christianity is also indicated that God, a human, not from dirt, turab, earth. He was saying that humans' body is mainly silicon. He was saying, I didn't, it's Hassan Mustahzadi, he mentioned. It's carbon, as far as I know, carbon. But anyhow, even in earth, is not that much carbon. It's, sorry, the earth is silicon. Human is carbon, earth is silicon. Sorry, so the other way around. So he was looking at this from that angle, from scientific angle. So from turab, does it mean that or not? You see, the point is, when we have something, for example, in this case, that God has created us from earth, okay, it has a lot of meaning. It can be all sort of angles. So what physics, in this case, material, or if you call it molecule, is the one aspect. Maybe that's not the case. Min turab means from earth, that we are body, we are material at the end of the day. It could be that, meaning of it, that we are not spiritually only, we are not angels. No, we are material body. Because, in fact, one of the definitions of human by Hindus, one group of Hindus, is that humans are angels who are brought down to earth. So originally we are angels. No, this is not. In this case, min turab. So we are earthly body, earthly. So it could be like that. Then thumma. Thumma means time after that. So we have, you are originally from dirt or earth, and then from nutfa. Means stages, anyhow. We can always look at the stages.
Animals are not from...
Yes, from water. We had from water altogether, but we don't know. I haven't seen anywhere that animals are from dirt, from earth, from turab. I haven't seen that. From water, yes. Quran, we just read it, and a lot. There is a lot that they are originally from water. But from turab, it seems to be the aspect of don't consider yourselves high. I think that's more into it. that you are really low creatures. Don't think because you see a lot of even Muslim Shias, even ulamas or scholars, a lot of them, they, as soon as they're human, they call them Viceroy of God, Khalifatullah. We are not Khalifatullah. We are to the zero minimum, less than animals. We can be Viceroy of God, but can be something. What we are is totally different. I always use this: Allahumma la takilni ila nafsi tarfat aynin abada. Don't let me alone by myself for a moment, a pick of moment, small amount. Not even for a small amount, moment, very, very tiny moment. Don't leave me on my own. Which means if we are alone, if we are based on ourselves, we are just going down. We are not good creatures. As a base, our base is not good. But if we take the rope, Hablan min Allah, if we take the Ahl al-Bayt and guidance and from God, and we can go up. We can go as much as we can, and inshallah we can discuss that quite a lot as we can go. The next verse is هو الذي خلقكم من تراب ثم من نطفة ثم من علقة ثم يخرجكم طفلا ثم لتبلغوا أشدكم ثم لتكونوا شيوخا. It's different stages of humans, of our life or birth, before birth of fetus. It starts from turab, then spermatozoid, if you call it, then alaqa, the first part, the first oval, I mean the egg when conceives, that becomes alaqa, then a child, then teenager, and then you become ashuddakum. Teenager is not there. Ashuddakum, a complete man, and then old man. Do we have to? Then I just want to touch upon another aspect, which is if we are created from other groups on this earth. So far we spoke about generally, it could be very long term if you call it very broadly. But no, are we created from animals or from monkeys or semi-monkeys or other sapiens or not? It's not bad that we can have some verses and some riwayats. The first ayah is وَرَبُّكَ الْغَنِيُّ ذُو الرَّحْمَةِ إِنْ يَشَأْ يُذْهِبْكُمْ وَيَسْتَخْلِفْ مِنْ بَعْدِكُمْ مَا يَشَاءُ كَمَا أَنْشَأَكُمْ مِنْ ذُرِّيَّةِ قَوْمٍ آخَرِينَ. God threatens people, threatens those who do not want to listen to him. He says God doesn't want you. He's Ghani, doesn't need your prayer. He's Ghani, rich enough, but he's compassionate. If he wants, anytime, he can simply change you, the whole race of human. I can just delete him and bring another group instead of yourself. Don't think that you are so high and so you can do that. Then at the end it says كما أنشأكم من ذرية قوم آخرين. As I have created you from ذرية, from sons of another tribe, another group. So very in line with those who think that we are continuous of the creation of the whatever it was on this earth. Yes, Neanderthal, others, yes, could be. What I said, that's exactly. Here it says could be, others. There are others, but is it Neanderthal or some Neanderthal or whatever? It depends on really scientific founding. If you find it, it's okay, no problem. And the other one is وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً قالوا أتجعل فيها من يفسد فيها ويسفك الدماء ونحن نسبح بحمدك ونقدس لك. This is very famous ayah, very famous. When God wanted to create Adam, the prophet, على نبينا وآله عليه السلام, he told the angels that I want to create a vicegerent on earth. I want to create someone on earth. They understood part of the story. They didn't understand the other part. So what did they say? Say, do you want to create someone who may يفسد فيها? He destroys everything and then disrupts really everything. ويسفك الدماء. He bleeds, he kills. ونحن نسبح بحمدك ونقدس. We pray you, we praise you. So we are better. Why you want this human bad animals, if you call it, this bad creature? In the Imam, in fact, in part of this interpretation or exegesis of this verse, Imam says that if there wasn't any tribe or any race or Neanderthal or whatever on earth who were doing this sort of thing, they were just bad animals, they wouldn't have said this. So that's number one. Number two, again, for those who want to know humans, these are two definitions of humans. I mean, though two aspects, not definitions, sorry. Two attributes, tenets, things that we normally do. يفسد فيها ويسفك الدماء. So we always destroy our nature, our environment. That's our nature. That's part of us. So that's what we do. And we يسفك الدماء. We kill. So we are killing machine. But what prophet didn't see, angels didn't see, they saw our material side. They knew that part. But God says, I want to make a vicegerent of this body. Is not good to become vicegerent of God. What they didn't see is Asma. There was some names on very high level in God's governance, whatever area. Arsh is really throne of God. Yes, throne. Yeah, that's good. And there were these names, 5 names. Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Imam Ali, Hazrat Zahra, Hassanin alayhi wasallam. Their names were there, and people, they knew that they were highest, very high level creatures. They knew that. But this creature, the one which is going to be created on earth, was so bad that it was impossible to think that these two are related somehow or connected. And it is so difficult that after the God praises himself, so he says, Tabarakallah ahsanul khaliqeen. See what they've done? He praises himself for mixing these two separate, very high-level things. I'm a very high-level spiritual entity with this material killing machine. So this is something very difficult. Shaitan didn't know that. Malaika didn't know that. So at the beginning, that's why also Shaitan, he didn't want to sujood, which is prostrate to Adam, because he considered himself higher than this material. He was from fire, better situation. And he was right, in fact. But he didn't know that these humans, they are connected to those high names, to those things. But when they understood, when God told them, Malaika, astaghfirullah, they started to repent because of what they thought. I mean, they should have thought with what God wants is correct. Okay, there may be something they don't know. They should have known that. But they said, no, don't do that. They shouldn't have said that. But at least they prostrated, they accepted God's will. And even though they, what I said, pretend, repented as well. But Shaitan, no. He could do that. He said, no, God, you tricked me. You didn't show me the full data, as Paul said, so you tricked me. Okay, you tricked me, now you can prostrate now. I don't do it. I mean, of course, this discussion wasn't in that time. This discussion was with Nuh alayhi salam and then with Musa alayhi salam. These two prophets, they tried to make some sort of improve Shaitan's situation, and they told him, come back. He said, no, I didn't do that time. I do it now. I don't do it. So he didn't want it. I mean, so it was his decision, and because he yet considered himself better than this human. I mean, he was in opinion that these humans, I know what they are made of. I know how can I trick them. They are so infallible. Sorry. So easy I can check them. And then even he tried to trick the Prophet himself, even that. So we have also, he wanted to trick Imam Zayn al-Abidin and also others we have. So some cases we have mentioned. What interesting in that story is, because we have a lot of difference here in this case with Christianity. With Christianity, they think what Adam did, the sin which he did, is the sin for humanity as a whole. So when we are born as sinners because of that sin. So we have to repent and baptize, so we can reduce, take that sin out. Well, which is, in a sense, we have it, but not in this term. We have differently. Here it says that Adam had befriended with one angel when he was in heaven, but when came down, he was sent down. The angel was up. The angel was after a while. He felt sick because of this not seeing Adam alayhi salam, and asked God permission to come down and to visit Adam. So God gave him this permission, and he came down. And when Adam saw him, he just hit his hair. That, did you see what I did? I was with you, and now I'm on the earth, and that. And the angel told him something which was good, and Imam says as well, this is a narration from Imam, and Imam says that made him happy. That he said, you don't know what happened? He said, no. And he mentions the angel, this إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً, and what what the angel said. He said, even that time we realized that you were not programmed to be living in the heavens. في الأرض إني جاعل في الأرض خليفة. You were supposed to be on earth. So don't feel that bad, that because what sin you've done, you have brought down. No, that was part of the all creation. I mean, that was the aim of the creation from the very beginning. And that made him happier, Adam alayhi salam. Several traditions. Imam Ali alayhi salam says that God wanted to create humans. There were jinn were before humans. What is interesting, again, it's very important that even today, I mean, there are millions of dollars they are spending on this SETI or SET program. They are just listening and sending signs to all universe to see if there is any other intelligible life. Yeah. We have one intelligent life here in this earth called jinn. We can't see them, okay, but they are here and they are very close to us. They can understand our logic. That's very important because other creatures, they may have some sign like this. Okay, what is this? We don't know what is this. We have to know what is it. Is it good, bad? What does it mean? We don't know. Interesting. They send pictures and photos. They think they will understand it. Anyhow, jinn. So jinn were created before humans, and they were on this earth. But they are not Nasnas. They are not sapiens. They are not the ones which you mentioned, what's it, Neanderthal. Anyhow, Amir Mu'minin says that when God wanted to create a human, there was 7,000 years after creation of jinn and Nasnas. So it's a group. We don't call them Neanderthal. In our riwayats, they call them Nasnas. It's a name. In another riwayah again says there was 7,000, okay, and then 7,000 years were passed from the creation of these two, and God created the same thing. Imam Baqir alayhi salam says, do you think, to Jafar Ja'fi, do you think that God has created only you as a race, this only humans, and there is no human apart from you? The word here is bashar, again, or well, could be. God has created thousand other worlds, million. So million other worlds have been created, and there are thousand Adam in the universe. So not one, not two, there are millions of other life like us, and we are one of the latest, the last ones. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, do you think that God has not created any other race or humans? No, there are millions like you. Imam alayhi salam says, somebody asked him, was there any creatures before Adam? He says yes. Again, there were people, then jinni, there were angels, there were then jinn, and there were good jinns who could fly and go to malaika, and there were creatures lower than jinn. They couldn't fly. In how they were eating, they were drinking. They are close to jinn, but they are not humans. They were there. I mean, these descriptions we have from them. And from Imam Baqir alayhi salam, it says, since God has created the earth, this is a bit different way. Since God created the earth, 7 generations have been created on it. 7 stages has been come and gone. And none of them were from Adam, from our race, from our people. and there were word after word until Adam was created, and we are from them.
Dinosaurs one of them?
Dinosaurs could be, but dinosaurs are animals. We are not in this case discussing animals. It's more like sapiens, as I said, like Neanderthal or what these sort of things. Not animals. No, we are discussing things who are very much close to us. I mean, people.
Jinns one of them?
Jinn are again close. Jinn were visible, but after Adam brought to earth, to earth come down, their race has been their in our term DNA has been changed. Somehow they were changed, and they became invisible. They were visible before, but now they have become invisible.
They're visible to angels and God. Maybe we just
No, invisible is a lot. I mean, invisible virus is also invisible. You can't see it, really. And invisible also can be air. It could be invisible, could be light. It could be these sort of things. Invisible is a lot of things. Waves are invisible. But either they are very tiny, very small, we can't see them invisible, or no, because they can pass through like many particles. We have a lot of particles that can go through a wall, whatever, they can pass it. So because they can do that. And also they have power. They have power. In the story of Hazrat Dawood and Sulaiman, Hazrat Sulaiman, when he wanted the throne of Bilqis to bring the throne, he asked, who can do it? A jinn was there, and jinn says, before you stand up, I can bring it. So I can do that. But there was a human, one alim, he said, and God says that he knew, Quran says, that he knew something from the book. So he had information, knowledge. And he said, no, before you blink, I can bring it. And just he brought it. So interesting. I saw one of the scholars, I don't remember who, he used this verse to say that jinn, they have power. And certainly they have underwater power. That's certainly. In Sulaiman's time, they were making things underwater. And there are a lot of now statues and buildings in outside Iskandaria, Misr, in the water. Maybe it's from that time, maybe a bit here and there, I don't know. But they have the ability to work underwater, and they have what? Power, energy, good energy they have. More than us, stronger than us, or they can move in a sense. I don't know. But interesting that their birth or their reproduction is close to us. Their verses of Quran, eating and drinking and this sort of seems to be like us. So this sort of living. Certainly their logic is like us. They can make the same logic. But because they are created of fire, not fire as well. When you turn, you have this candle, you see on the top of the fire there's this black, something black becomes a bit darker. The riwayat says it's from that dark, that material. So there are some sort of energy. They are not. We are also. I mean, today's theories, they also consider that matter and energy are the same, but matter is more concentrated energy, very concentrated. So we are very much concentrated. They are a bit flowed, opened, and maybe that was happened to them. They were concentrated, and then they became free somehow. So we can't see them. But jinn, really one of the things that we have to work really we have to work and do tests, and probably we can use them. I mean, we can give them something to get something called cooperate. I mean, as a cooperation, because they have good power, good energy. We can use it. But anyhow, that's another story. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.